boys. Uncle Andy is about to smash a home run here. Nick's been waiting for his viral clip, and we're about to do it. I'm very nervous to listen back to it. Don't even send it to me. Just post it, and we'll see what happens.
There's only one way to start.
With a prayer.
Exact. Whoa, man. Okay. You want to lead it, or you want me to lead it?
Let me lead.
Oh.
I'm the guest.
Wow, I love that.
Whenever I'm at a business meeting with people, I always say, "Do you pray before meals?" And if they say no, I say, "Then give me a second to pray. No big deal." But if they say yes, I say, "Will you lead us in a prayer?" It's always so unique to you get an insight into people when you hear them pray. Some Catholics do the Bless us, O Lord. I can get down with that. Some people elaborate on a freestyle prayer, which is awesome to see. I'm a freestyler myself before meals with strangers. I like to incorporate our relationship and them and whatever we're doing, business or whatever. I like to incorporate that in. So let me see if I can whip up a little hippity-skippity freestyle here. Jesus, thank you for Nick Graff. Thank you for the Holy Toledo podcast. Thank you for Nick's generosity, taking me in this summer as I build my new office to let me work out of his home. Lord, and all the gifts therein you have provided for our friendship, for our relationship throughout this summer. I love you, Lord. I praise you. I bless you. Bless this podcast. Bless the ears that are listening. You at home right now, tuning in, I pray blessing over your life, your family. I pray for your intentions, Lord, all those people listening, their intentions. And I pray for beauty, health, intelligence, and goodness of my children, Nick's future children, and for all the children of the world. Amen.
Amen. Oh, boy. Easy with your...
Oh, thank you.
Oof. Wow,
Close
okay.
over there.
That was pretty good.
Spirit almost rained down and knocked my coffee over.
Yeah, Jesus, thank you for Andy Leonard, the perfect gift to kind of re-kick off this show. It's been a little while since I've had an interview on.
Yeah, what's been going on?
You know, it's kind of humbling getting shut down by a Catholic priest coming on the show.
Yeah, so you had to bring on
So I had to go to
like
Plan
me.
B. No, I'm just kidding. But you really are, I think, such a clear and, I don't want to say the word perfect, but perfect fit to get back rolling.
I thought you were going to say perfect man. I was hoping for.
We've known each other for quite a few years, just Toledo being, I think, a small circle.
Yeah.
And then we got a chance to work together. I interned in an office you worked at. And
I still have the coffee cup you gave me. I don't know if you remember this, but when you left, when your internship ended, you must have been traveling through Atlanta. My initials are ATL. You got me a coffee mug from the Atlanta airport, ATL. And I still have it to this day.
I actually, when I was writing this down, I was wondering if you would remember that. So, yes, I remember that. No, when I left, I tried to get everyone like a sentimental, people that I liked at least, a sentimental coffee mug and ATL. Those are cool initials.
You're so thoughtful. Nick Graff, I know you're introducing me, but nobody is like you. Nobody is as thoughtful, as intentional, as truly outward focused as you. A touch hyperbole, I'm sure other people are, but like you are so good at seeing the other, at personalizing things to other people. And that's why this show is going to take off, is taking off. We're in the midst of it. These things just take a minute to pick up. But like, you need a unique personality to do something like this. And you are that, my man. You're so freaking cool. I'm so happy to be here.
As my dad would say, stop it, stop it, stop it. Well, thank you very much. That's nice because I was about to brown nose to you, so you teed it up. I remember my older sister and I, Alex, shout out to Alex, we were talking about who maybe, I forget exactly if it were role model or who we want to be like. And I said you, because I was like, Andy Leonard is the happiest, humblest, handsome son of a gun I've ever seen. And I think she kind of concurred.
What's interesting about that, I know I'm not supposed to interrupt right now, but I can't help.
Please.
So my wife and I made all our plans, our trust and all that stuff several years ago, and it got me thinking a lot about death. And I love the idea of frater memento mori, brother, remember thy death. You start with the end, it kind of orients your life it prioritizes things really quick. Like, what if I were to die today? Am I living the life I want to live? And so I wrote my headstone. And what is going to be said on my headstone is, a happier man never lived. And I want to live up to that.
Mm.
So you saying that is affirmation that I'm on the journey.
You're doing a good job. I think my two favorite things about you, I wrote down joy and humility. Joy is it seems like you have a genuine peace, but it's not a boring peace where you're just mellow. You are unashamed to be yourself. You have a ton of energy. You've rented my guest room as an office this summer, and I see that energy every day. And honestly, you come off to some people, I think, that might not know you well enough as this guy is. He's either disingenuous, this is not really him, he's just charming and flattering, but this is you, brother. Is that true?
That's so true. And I went through a phase in my arc where I was tempering down my personality for a while because I know I come across that way. And I still try to be aware of who I'm interacting with. But after a while, I thought, you know what? My goal is to have a long-term relationship with most people. And so they'll get to know me and they'll know this is real. Like, you can't fake something indefinitely. And my personality is enduring. And so, yeah, maybe first impression, you may get an idea, and then a month later you might get an idea, and a year later the deal. So I just didn't like not being natural. You know, I was like trying to tweak my personality so I'd come off a little less Andy, and I just thought, you know what? If they don't like me, then good, you know.
I like that. So besides you being joyful and humble, you're also an on-fire
Humblest
Catholic.
person I know.
Yeah. Yeah. You're an on-fire Catholic, a husband to a beautiful woman, father to 2 young stallions, a dynamite sales leader, and a business professional, and a fellow rookie podcaster.
Oh, yeah, Fulfillment Project.
Yeah.
Tune in, like it, subscribe it, 5-star it.
So you started a podcast. How long has it been?
5 months.
5 months, and it's called The Fulfillment Project.
Fulfillment Project. I got rid of the too much noise. Fulfillment Project. Bam.
Project.
Shannon, my wife, comes back at me. She's an English teacher, and it's not grammatically correct, but it's like, yeah, but you don't need that.
It's like people saying, I'm a fan of the Ohio State. It's a little bit of pride there.
Yeah.
Instead of the Fulfillment Project. Fulfillment Project.
Simple.
I like it.
Right to the point.
So what's been cool for me is like seeing how you've gone about starting this and your strategy, and our strategies are a little bit different, but also like I think we've got the same goal of engaging with an audience and saying what we have to say. So what do you have to say? Why did you want to start this podcast?
Oh my gosh, my podcast?
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask you the same thing about yours, but Fulfillment Project came out of the idea that I've been interacting with people for 15 years professionally, dozens of people a week, hundreds of people a month, just because I've always been in sales or advisory. And, dude, people's eyes are hollow, Nick. Like, you look at people are longing, people are searching. People like me, I'm in my mid-30s, at the literal apex of my life right now. And so many of my peers are just unhappy. They're grinding it. They're unsatisfied with life. And I thought, this isn't the way, man. We all want fulfillment. And I don't have the answer. And the podcast actually started with the name Andy Asks, because I just wanted to ask people questions to like give me your puzzle piece on fulfillment. You give me your puzzle piece on fulfillment, and together we'll put the puzzle together. And that's still the nature of the show. It's a lot of questions. But I just wanted to get to the source, because I want that too. Like, I've got 2 kids. I've got a marriage. I've got a really awesome job. I've got a lot of hobbies. And I want to be fulfilled in life. And I don't want to wait. I don't want fulfillment to be down the road. Like, a lot of people look at retirement one day. Like, where does the Bible talk about retirement? Why should I live a life where one day I want to stop? You know, I had a guy, Andrew Wyndham, on my podcast, and he's like, people think of retirement like a cliff. You're driving up a car, call it Mount Everest, full gas ahead all the way to retirement. The peak is retirement. Then you get there, and then you take your hands off the wheel, your hands off the gas, and you just go down the other side, totally unprepared for it. And it's like, that doesn't make any sense. You're going to crash. And so I want to start building a life of retirement today. I want to build a life that I want to live forever. And that started by taking money away as my number one goal in work and life. Because you orient yourself towards something external, and that thing is not enduring. You're going to be chasing that thing. I learned that if you want something to be enduring, it has to be internal, and you have to have a North Star that is better than something external. It's got to be internal. So that's what I've learned that through my show. That's one of the great things. I am my number one listener to my show because I'm so hungry for this material. I want to live a happy life, and I hope people tune in. And we've had 100,000 listens in the last 5 months, and it's amazing how things like this grow very slowly, and then incrementally, and then exponentially. And I haven't quite hit the tipping point yet of huge exponential growth, but I thought at first it'd just be my parents and my wife that tunes in, and there's a couple more that have found some meaning in it and people are sharing it. So I've been super grateful.
So this joy, this hunger, this peace.
By the way, I need your meeting notes. I want to frame that. These are really, really great things. Well, I'll give it to Shannon. She can just repurpose that for my birthday note.
Yeah. You have a good relationship with the Lord.
My number one relationship, brother.
Yeah?
Hell yeah.
So that's what I kind of want to talk about is how did this come to be? Have you always put God first? Did you naturally have a relationship with Jesus?
Always. Been easy from day one. Simple.
Yeah. So please enlighten us.
So where do you want me to start?
Well, I just would say, because I just kind of, now I want you to ramble on for a little bit of, it's cool to see, like, if I'm at a low point and I talk to you about something, like, you are very encouraging, but you're very honest. You'll call me out for certain things when they need to be called out. And I can just feel like the foundation is of, like, God. And you live a genuine, faithful life of your morning prayers, what you like to read, taking your boys to mass. So it's just cool to see a young, a young, beautiful, powerful young man taking his faith very seriously. So I just want to kind of learn about how that came to be.
Yeah, totally. Can't wait to talk about it. Can we cut some of this stuff like right now? I want to go get my phone because I want to stopwatch there or like somewhere so I can track time a little bit. Is there a clock on down here I can watch?
Yeah. Well, what do you want to track time for? Yeah, and yes, we can cut stuff.
Well, I just don't want to ramble,
I'll cut you off if you're rambling.
Okay.
But if it would make you more comfortable, we can go get your phone.
No, that's fine.
But if you're rambling, I'll rudely interrupt you.
So my parents did an amazing job raising me, and I think parents have a job to instill the faith in their kids. And I had a lot of technical knowledge. My parents sacrificed and sent me to Catholic school, K through college. And that was one of the greatest gifts of my life. But it was all technical. It was all factual. And I didn't understand my parents' personal relationship with the Lord because I didn't have one yet. But they gave me the gift of modeling for me what that relationship looked like, their daily prayer life, their daily interactions. So as a kid, I did kid stuff, kind of was trying to find my own way, become my own person, my own identity. I was in a rock and roll band for 15 years, and that has certain things that occur, and we were chasing that dream. We were trying to get picked up by a label and do the tour thing, and that has certain sway on you. And it wasn't until, ironically, I got to college where I was playing soccer in college, so we had to get there early, and I was alone, and I didn't know any of these guys on my team, and we were practicing 3 times a day, and between those times, I didn't know guys, and for some reason, I am pretty extroverted, but I was just feeling very homesick, very alone, And I would just go to my dorm room and just lay on the ground, not even on my bed, but just on the ground and like dark room, lights off, and just feel lonely and just kind of feel sorry for myself, pitiful, this and that. And none of my friends went to college with me. I was alone. They all went somewhere else. And so I'm trying to hang out with guys one day, and a dude says to me, Jamie Clayton, I'll never forget it, Andy, we're not looking for people to waste time with. We're looking for brothers. And if you want to be a brother, you can hang out with us. But if not, that's also cool.
He was on the team.
He was on the team. He also lived on my hall. And I went to Franciscan University. He was in AMDG, the household I would join eventually, but not yet. But I think it's Providence that I got placed on the hallway where that household was located. Household is like a fraternity, but the Catholic type of fraternity, which is awesome. And so all those guys went out. It was a weekend. They all went out and hung out, and I stayed back because I was like, holy smokes, he just kind of punched me in the nose with his words, not actually, but like I was stunned.
He was kind of calling you out for not participating
in the faith. Yeah, I just wanted dudes, and I came to school with a little bit of a reputation of being a bad boy and kind of a counter faith guy, this and that. And he smelled it, and so did everyone else. So he's like, we don't want that in our friend group. We want guys that are lifting us up and guys that are calling us on. Virtuous men are who we strive to be, and those are the types of guys we want to hang out with. I did a podcast about you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And whether Jamie knew it or not, that's what he was doing at that time in his life, was surrounding himself by guys he wanted to emulate and lift him up. And so the whole point of this story is I went to the chapel that night because I was alone, because everyone's gone and I'm alone in this whole dorm. And each dorm at Franciscan has a chapel in it. So I mosey down there. I'm just sitting. There's a tabernacle there. Dude, I'm low. I'm coming from high school where I was the man, rock and roll band, soccer. So I was an athlete. I was a musician. I was the king. I was at the apex of my life at that point. And I remember after a gig one day, my phone, one girl wanted to put her phone in it. And next thing I know, the phone comes back 30 minutes later with like 50 new numbers in it. And when you're a high school boy, that validation is everything. And I go from that peak experience to being alone in my dorm room, and I just get totally rejected. And I'm alone in this chapel now. And I'm just like, Lord, are you real? I've got all this technical knowledge of Jesus in my mind, the Trinity, the church, the sacraments. And I don't know what clicked, but I asked the Lord, I'm looking for you. I think you're real. Like, these guys seem to know you in a different way than I know you. If you're real, please show yourself to me. I don't know. It sounds kind of trite and hollow, but that was all I had. And I experienced peace for the first time that I can ever remember. That day in that chapel, Colby Clare Hall, I experienced peace. I have goosebumps thinking about it right now. It was transformational. Up until that point in my life, I wasn't living an honorable life. I wasn't living a truthful life. I was a lot of different people. I was a different person to a lot of different people. And keeping track of all that is exhausting. And the Lord just showed me truth. Not even showed me. It was like, I imagine it like the Transfiguration. Like, it just was. It was. I experienced peace, and I thought, I want that. And people who listen to my show, like, I talk about peace being my litmus test. Every choice I make, am I going to buy that car? Well, is that car more than my budget? If it is, then I won't feel peace. If I'm going to lose peace over that decision, I don't want it. Because ever since that moment in that dorm room, in that chapel at Franciscan, I've recognized peace comes with the Lord, and there's nothing in the world that is worth trading that in for. And so that was my first that was like my wake-up call. And then it was the hard work of changing my actual life, because I built so many habits and rituals and routines around a life that I no longer wanted to live. And it took me years to change that, to instill good habits, to learn about virtue, then to strive to live a disciplined life, to live out that virtue. And I'd say I swung a pendulum, and everyone in college can probably vouch for this, where I went from being a psycho, maniac, crazy dude, to the pendulum swung the absolute opposite way. I was waking up at 6 o'clock, leading morning praise and worship, hitting daily mass, holy hours, and like, because I was just running really hard in the other direction. And then post college, the pendulum kind of evened out once that intense faith life smashed against the real world, and I started working at a job I lovingly refer to as the sweatshops, slinging wine. Every bottle I sold, I had to put on the shelf. You have to orient your life in a different way when you're living in the world. I'm in the world, but not of the world, and that took some while to figure out. And ever since then, I've just been chasing the Lord, man, figuring it out. Different seasons of life call for different things. I was searching for a vocation. I wasn't sure. Priest, married life. What do I do? Every single Catholic man probably thinks the same thing. So I was doing all the vocational stuff through the diocese. I felt really called to St. Vincent's Arch Abbey in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. I was doing retreats with those awesome monks over there. Beautiful spot. But I felt this calling for a wife. Ended up connecting with my best friend's sister, and I was on a road trip with my buddy, and Kevin, love you, bro. And I was just exclaiming how hard it is to find a good woman in the world today. It's so hard. I was still gigging in the band, which is a story unto itself, and living my Catholic life, but still gigging, and like it can happen. I'm sure it can happen, but I wasn't meeting any girls in the bars that were marriage worthy. And I was just saying that to him, and he's like, man, my sister's in Virginia, and she's experiencing something different. It's hard to meet a guy, a virtuous Catholic person that wants to get married. And I said, Kevin, can I call her? And
had you ever seen a photo of her before?
Oh, I knew her. We went to college together. She was 1 year older than me. Kevin was 1 year younger than me, so I was sandwiched right in between them. But I was always her brother's best friend. And so Kevin was my best friend. We were roommates. And so she was, like, not off limits in that way, but, like, I never even considered it because it was just my buddy's sister, Right. And so anyway, we get married, and it's like life evolves. So seasons of life is where I'm going. Seasons in life change. And the faith changes with those seasons. That's the beauty of the Catholic faith, is it's very dynamic. As many people as there are in the world are as many faiths as there are in the world. You've got the Eastern Rite, the Roman Rite. You've got charismatic folks. You've got the trad people. And like, one thing I learned from living in Germany is people do things differently, and that's okay. Like, just because we in Western society do something this way, that's good. That's fine. There's more than one way to get to God. And the Roman Catholic faith allows for all those ways. You read about saints throughout history, the church fathers, the apostles themselves, like so dynamically different. And that gives me a lot of excitement of like, I get to find my own way here with the support of thousands of years of the best thinkers who are asking the same questions as I'm thinking. I can just go to them. I've got tough questions. Then we had kids, and it's like the season changes again. How do I incorporate my faith life into this season? Thank God I've got thousands of years of people who have done it before me. So I go to the great thinkers throughout history, the men and women who have had families. You look at St. Teresa's parents, both of them saints. It's like amazing. Like, there's a lot of wisdom out there that the Catholic faith gives us that is beautiful. I truly don't know. Some people say I'm spiritual but not religious, and awesome. My heart breaks for them because I have so many cheat codes that they don't have. I've got so many shortcuts that they don't have. I went through a phase once where I was calling living a Catholic virtuous life like an unfair advantage in the business world, because if you're virtuous, if you're a hard worker, if you're honest, like immediately that puts you head and shoulders above at least half the people in the world. You're 50% minimum. And then, you add a couple other flavors on top of there, and you're at the 99 percentile. So that's my faith life in a nutshell. Still figuring it out. By the way, it's like the podcast. I'm not telling anybody anything. I'm asking questions because I'm looking myself, you know. I'm still the biggest idiot in any room, just figuring it out. That's why I've loved being in the home with you. Thank you for letting me
There's
live
another
here,
idiot.
by the way.
There's
Just another idiot on the journey. You know, we're asking questions, and what I love about you, Nick, is you're seeking and you're open to the truth taking you in uncomfortable places. Like you're following, and we don't always know where the destination is. And good. That's the adventure of a freaking lifetime. And it's what fires me up and lifts me up. And so many people are dead behind the eyes, and I'm like, wake up. Wake up, man. The adventure is right in front of you. Having to wake up throughout the night with kids is hard, but it's also the adventure of a lifetime. When else am I going to see 2, 3, 4 a.m. on the clock? You know? And it's like getting to integrate your life with another person's is really hard. It's also the adventure of a lifetime. Trying to balance a high-octane job, managing teams of people, generating millions of dollars of revenue, while doing all the other stuff of life, it is the adventure. It's fun. I feel like a lot of people just have the wrong paradigm about it. Like if you just, sounds simple, and it is, but it's hard. If you just tweak your perspective on things, it gives you a whole different outlook on life.
Yeah. I was just the other night trying to review my day, and I thought, I got to go to Mass in the morning.
Boom.
I got to go give a couple golf lessons to some really cool young guys.
Boom. Go,
I got to spend time with I went there, I'm like, whoa, that was good. That was good. That was good. But lately, and even still now, I feel like I can just be so on to the next thing. And I'm just kind of, I'm speaking on the fly here of, I want to find more joy.
Yeah.
Instead of just going boom, boom, boom. And we've talked before about how the book you recommended over there, Jean-Marc Comer, not Slowest Man Wins, but the
No. The ruthless elimination of hurry.
Yeah, and I feel like that is
Great book.
That could be a culprit of.
Thanks to Steve Azar, he recommended it to me, and I read it. I was fortunate to be going on vacation the week after so I read it in like 2 days because I had a bunch of time on the beach to read it, and I still drive the speed limit because of that book.
Really?
What I like about that book is it's so practical. He sells you the reason why you should do something, and you're like, yes, I should do that. But then he gives you practical steps to implement those things in your life. And one way to practically slow down your life is to literally slow down your life, drive the speed limit, and just be okay with that. And he ties that into a couple other things, but that book has a lot of good takeaways.
So, as you're how old? How young are you? 30?
36, 215 pounds. Last 4 on my social. Best shape I've ever been in, by the way. Ran a marathon in April. Glory to God. People can't see, but there's a 6-pack under this shirt.
Sure.
I'm trying to flex, but it's hard in this seat, the way I'm oriented here. Trying to flex my legs so you get some thigh muscle here. We have too much fun, man. I'm going to miss you. I might have to
miss you too.
Come back once a week just to spend some time.
Hey, you, your wife, and 2 boys, you guys can move into that guest room full time if you want.
We're in, dude.
Looking back then, so that was 16-ish years ago, right? This experience.
Yeah.
What faith practices do you have now that would have helped you back then, or what advice would you give to a younger guy like wanting to grow closer to God?
Love that. I'm going to go there, but I want to back up real quick because we got on to Jean-Marc Comer and we didn't talk about your thing about.
Oh, right.
You did all these things, but you want to appreciate them more. You want to slow down a little more. And reflection is key to that. To all the listeners, and this is something I talk through on my podcast over and over and over again, because I have a task list. I have a massive task list. So do you. You're operating a lot of different types of businesses, all happening concurrently. You're running the golf team. You've got a ton of stuff going on. Task lists are a part of life for anybody. But preparing for the list at the beginning of the day with silent reflection, prayer, meditation helps set us up for it. So we're moving through the list with intentionality and with purpose. It's not happening by accident. We're not responding. We're actually being proactive with those tasks. We're doing it on purpose. Someone said once, you schedule your priorities. You don't prioritize your schedule. Like, you don't just live a life that someone else gives to you. You make your schedule around things that are important to you.
You schedule your priorities. You don't prioritize your schedule.
Precisely. So that's the first piece. The second piece is at the end of the day, reflecting upon the day like you do, and just looking through those tasks, thinking about them. A lot of times we leave a lot of value on the table. There's $1 million on the table, and we pick up $100 by doing something. The rest of that $1 million is wrapped up in the preparing to do the thing and then the reflecting on the thing to extract the maximum amount of value out of that thing. And for example, I meet with my team on a regular basis as a group and individually. And when I'm doing an individual meeting, I got caught up for a while because life is busy. There's a lot of moving pieces going on. I just show up to the one-on-ones, and we would just do the meeting. I have a rubric that I like to run through regularly, check in, bada bing, on to the next thing, check it off my box. And after some time, I just started canceling those meetings because I was too busy for those meetings because they turned valueless to me and to the individuals because we were just both kind of showing up, connecting for a minute, and then breaking apart. So I started reflecting in preparation for those meetings, planning for them, thinking about what I want to say, what do I want to talk about, what questions do I want to ask, doing the meeting, and then blocking 20 minutes after each meeting to reflect on it, take notes, and set up for the next time. And those meetings now, so now I just have a set schedule where when I set one of those meetings, and every meeting I do now, if I don't have time to prepare for a meeting and follow up from a meeting, I cancel it. It's part of my rules. It's like if someone meets me and they don't like me, fine. If someone puts a meeting on my schedule and I don't have time to prep or follow up, I cancel it because the meeting's going to be worthless anyways. How many meetings you go to where a week later you don't remember that meeting? All of them. Most people would say all of them. Tell me one meeting you went to last week. Who was there? What'd you do? Preparing, executing, reflecting is the key to life in terms of extracting the most value out of it. It's the way. Simple, very difficult to do. It takes a lot of discipline. And I'm not perfect at it. I'm not being like, oh, look at me on this holy mountain. You know, I'm working. I've identified the ideal, and I'm working towards it.
What do you say to the person that says, you're wrong? You should be in the present moment always.
I say, how's that worked out for you? What are the processes and procedures you do, and show me the fruit? I mean, I would say, I might also say, yeah, I agree. I am in the present moment always. I'm in the present moment preparing for what's to come. And then I get to relive the moment I lived when I reflect. Like, and maybe that even is a great distinction there, Nick, because Bridget Nohara was on my podcast talking about put your head where your feet are. So many people are at the dinner table and they're thinking about work, and they're at work and they're thinking about the dinner table. Their feet and their head are always in two different places. And being present is yes, 1,000%. But how do we show up in the present moment in the best way possible? By preparing, by executing, by reflecting. And when I'm reflecting, I'm in the present moment, reflecting about something I'm doing. And when I'm prepping, I'm in the present moment, prepping. And by the way, how do you show someone their integrity as a human? Do unto others as you would have them do to you. You prepare for it. You treat it like it's important. And people can tell the difference. You can smell it a mile away when someone's prepped for you. They remember things. They ask really good questions. They're engaged. They're looking you in the eye. It's so clear. I mean, it's very rare. I do this thing. I'm giving a little secret here. I call it the question wrestle, where every interaction I'm in my mind, it's a little bit of a game. I'm wrestling them with questions. Whoever's on top is asking the most questions. Some people, it's not even a fight. You ask them a question, you give them an inch, they take a mile. They're never even aware that they're the ones doing all the talking. Mm. They never pause to reflect and think, oh, is this person still interested in what I'm saying? They never ask about you. Mm. And they never flip the easiest thing to do, if you don't know how to ask questions, ask the question back that the person just asked you. How's your day going? Someone might take that for 30 minutes and never ask you, hey, how's your day, Nick? Mm-hmm. So the question wrestle is something I'm always playing in myself. Some people are really, really good. My buddy Steve Azar, he's a hard one to beat. You're a hard one to beat. You're always, that's what I'm saying, you're very present. People can smell this stuff. When you're prepared for them, you're honoring them. Some people would say, treat everyone as if they're Jesus. Well, if you're going to do that, then prep for them. You know, if I'm meeting the Lord,
right,
better believe I'm doing some pre-meeting.
Yeah. Just like you were banging out some push-ups over there.
Oh, yeah, dude. Get my pump on. Although your dogs attacked me.
Yeah.
They sleep all day, and I get on the ground to do some push-ups, and the guy's about to eat me alive.
They're reflecting on what's past, and they're preparing for the future.
Yeah, all right. Let's keep this going. You asked me what I'd tell myself in the future.
Yeah.
No, what I would tell myself if I could talk to my... What was the question?
What books have you read? What do you do now in your day to stay close to God, stay close to the fountain of blessings that you would coach a younger brother on? Or if you could go back and talk to yourself, you say, hey, actually, it's a waste of time to donate to the poor, and you shouldn't read this stuff, or, you know, what mistakes did you make, and what have you found that are practices you would want to pass on?
You know, I'd say to some young idiot like me, and most people listening are young idiots, I'd say stop trying to live a mediocre life. Stop trying to not masturbate. Stop trying to not watch too much Netflix. Stop trying to not swear. That's a lot of people's goals, is dumb, bottom feeder shit like that. And it's like, lift your eyes to heaven and set your goals in a different place. You taught me my favorite phrase. What is it? A dog in a cage.
A dog in the cage is bothered by the fleas, but a dog on the hunt doesn't notice them. Shout out David Graff.
My man, I love that man, David Graff. So, yeah, dude, you're focused on porn and masturbation. That's all you're going to see. When you're focused on living a life of virtue and excellence, you don't have time for it because you're waking up at 5 a.m. to get your hour run in and exercise, and you're planning healthy meals, and you're getting to the adoration chapel, and you're hitting daily mass, and you're prepping for your work day, and then you're executing on whatever you got to do that day, and then you're reflecting on it, and then you're getting a good night's sleep to wake up tomorrow and kick ass again. It's like, I would tell myself that. I focused on the wrong things for so many years, and it's like, lift your eyes up, man. You are what you think about, and so just think about things higher.
Okay. You talked about John Mark Comer being practical. How do you be practical with that? What does that mean? Because I think I could do a better job of that.
Yeah. Sit down and think about who you want to be. Think about what you want to have. And think about where you want to go. Those seem like very simple things, but it takes a lot of reflection to decide that. Once you do, and I tell people on my podcast, take a PTO day and reflect on this all day. Get a hotel room in your town, out of your town, make it feel a little different. If you're married, get a babysitter, spend half a day on it. Reflect on this stuff. It is your guiding North Star. If you're living without the understanding of who you want to be, what you want to have, and where you want to go, you're missing it. I mean, you're just living reactively. Life is happening to you. You're not taking it to the day. So understanding that is number one. Number two is you got to back into those things. So now you know, okay, I want to go from Detroit to Chicago. There's a road to get there. And so now you just put milestones in the road. What do I have to do? And everyone's life is a little different. Do I have to wake up earlier? Do I have to go to bed earlier? Do I have to insert physical fitness into my life? Do I have to insert more prayer time into my life? Yeah, whatever the milestones are, you got to add those in. And so, what are the milestones? Well, I don't know, because you've got thousands of people listening to this thing, and there's 1,000 different answers. What I tell them is, if you don't have a mentor in your life, or many, go get one. The best people in every field have coaches. To think you can do this alone is too hard. That's why I surround myself with people like you, because you're asking me the good questions. You're my refining fire. Iron sharpens iron. We need other people to sharpen us up. So I surround myself. I've got countless people that I run things by, that I sharpen up on. And they sharpen me up because I'm not scared to look like an idiot. Hey, I'm struggling with this. Hey, I'm trying to do this. Hey, I've never done this. Like, everyone's been in your shoes before. Just because you're doing something for the first time, you feel a little insecure about it. So what? The person you're asking advice on was doing it for the first time a year ago, a couple years ago, maybe many years ago. But I'm just very vulnerable. Vulnerability is a key. If you're living life without being vulnerable, if you're trying to be macho or buttoned up or whatever, fine. I hope it works. Good luck. It's the slow boat to China. I mean, you can do it. But if you want to put gas on the fire, be vulnerable. Expose yourself quickly so you can get quick feedback. The quickest way to succeed is to fail. You learn a lot more from failure than from success. Being vulnerable is that in a practical way. It means something different to everyone. But surround yourself with mentors who can guide you and help you identify those milestones practically. Hit me again, baby. Come on.
You, at the start of that, you got me going there. You came alive right there. Okay. Your favorite book in the Bible? You told me it was Acts. Is that still the case?
You know, I love Acts because, well, you know what's interesting about this, about my fire? I'm fiery, but you're very chill. And I have a habit to match the person I'm speaking with just because it's the comfortable thing. It's like mirroring. The way you make the other person feel comfortable is by mirroring their behavior. So I'm coming out a little bit. I'm like a firecracker. I'm kind of laying low, but I'm popping some shots off here and there. Yeah, I think Acts is my favorite. It's the most exciting book in the Bible because you're seeing the apostles who were so scared. They gave up everything, and then Jesus was killed. And don't forget, I had to go on Grok one day to figure out who all the other messianic figures were around the day of Jesus, because the Bible mentioned it somewhere. And because the Pharisees talk about putting down the other messianic figures who ended up just being crazy people that thought they were God. And there were many of them, and they had big followings. And then those people were killed or they died. And their whole following, imagine you commit your life to someone, and then they end up being a fraud. How insane is that? And these guys did that, and Jesus was killed. Holy smokes. What are you going to do? They're in the upper room. They're freaking out. And so would I be. And then Jesus raises from the dead. And how do you know the Catholic faith is real? Because of everything that happens in the Acts. In the book of Acts. It's insane. There's no reason you would do the things they did if Jesus actually died. It can't be fake. It can't be fake. Biblical scholars could explain it a lot better than me, but when I read it, I'm like, there's no way you organize that story, that lie perpetuates so far for so long without any of them cracking. All but one of them are martyrs, killed, skinned alive, burned, tortured. No way, dude. You don't believe a lie that much, that many people are willing to do that. That's why I love Acts. Seeing that. Peter's shadow raises a man from the dead. What the hell, dude? That's real. That happened. Wild. Demoniacs, however you say that word. People breaking chains. 20 normal people trying to hold a guy down, beating the shit out of him. And then when the apostles come, bam! Healed through the power of Jesus Christ. I mean, what's your favorite book? How can it not be the Acts of the Apostles?
If you're actually asking me, yeah, that's probably. I like John. I like how John writes the gospel.
John's the dude, man. Imagine laying your head upon the chest of the creator of the universe, No wonder he had insights that none of the other gospel writers had. He was the beloved one. Imagine. Like when I hear, what do you call those things? Jesus tells a story to tell a point. Parable. He was unpacking those parables to John. And to, of course, the other people. But I think John got a special taste, man. I think John got a special look behind the curtain. And, I mean, he wrote Revelation, supposedly. I believe he did. And it's like, yeah, dude. His head was upon the Savior's chest. You can go to the Adoration Chapel and think about that, and then figuratively put your head on the Lord's chest, just like, Lord, I want to rest in you. Life is so busy. I just want to rest with you. We haven't talked about the Adoration Chapel, but if your people ain't getting to the Adoration Chapel.
Let's talk about that.
So my father-in-law is an executive coach. He coaches Fortune 500 C-suite people. And a lot of other people too, business owners of all types. But he tells them, even if they're not Catholic, he's like, the most quiet place you can go is an adoration chapel. You've got a lot of stuff going on in your life. And I experience, like you're talking practically, Andy, what do I do? If you're struggling with a lot of noise in your life, go to an adoration chapel. Why? Because there's no noise there. And why? You put yourself in front of the sun, you're going to get burned. Wow. There is grace there. Whether you know it or not, and whether it hits you in that moment or not, if you need time to unpack some things, take a notebook and go sit in a adoration chapel. No better place.
Wow.
No better place.
I love how, he just makes it sound like even if you're not a believer, go sit in adoration because you get the silence. I was trying to, get my cousin to go to one, and it's hard, obviously, the Catholic faith, believing that the Eucharist is Jesus' body on earth. But instead of having to defend that, just get them in the door.
Yeah, you don't have to believe it's Jesus. Piece of bread. Who cares? Go in there.
Yeah.
Get your ass in there, son.
Have you ever had an issue with the faith of, a certain verse or a certain teaching within the church that you just had a hard time swallowing?
Dude, yes. A million. I used to do these things called the executive workouts with my buddy Vinny Delicata. Shout out, one of the smartest guys I know. And he's a Protestant, great believer. And we'd go to the Toledo Club, and we'd hit the sauna, the hot tub, shower up, and we'd just be talking faith the whole time. And his IQ is about 1,000 points higher than mine. So he would ask me really hard questions, and I loved those conversations because he's on the journey just like you and me. And he hit me with a lot of things. And that's going back to what we were talking about earlier. He's not the first one to ask those questions, and neither am I. And there is a lot of depth in the Catholic faith. And whenever I come up to one of those questions, I go searching. I'm trying to think of a practical one, or like an actual one I struggle with. Eucharist. Your cousin doesn't believe it's real. Does he believe in Jesus? If you believe in Jesus, I think you have to believe in the Eucharist. Why? Because he said, this is my body and my blood. Yeah, but it was figurative. Oh yeah? Well then why did many of his followers, leave him? And Jesus wasn't running after him saying, hey, I meant it figuratively. I meant this and that. He said, this is my body and my blood. And a lot of people walked away from him. And he wasn't chasing after him, saying, no, you misunderstood. There's no clarifying point in the scriptures after that where they clarify that. In fact, they doubled down on it. So that was a question, like, how do you know it's real? Well, I don't know, because I grew up going to prayer meetings every Friday night, and every Friday night they told me it was real. My parents told me it was real, and I've been to church my whole life. And there are so many assumptions that we take just because we grew up a certain way that are real, but we can't defend them just because we've never had to before. That's why I love surrounding myself with people of varying viewpoints, because it forces me to research and learn why I believe what I believe, or change my mind about something. I've been wrong about stuff a lot of times, or I found better ways to do things a lot of times. And it's like, because I expose myself because I'm vulnerable and I'm willing to be the biggest idiot in the room. And oftentimes I am.
Yeah, I think what you said about like having Vinny ask you those really good questions, obviously it didn't draw you away from the faith. It seems like it strengthened your faith, because what I found is that like before I really believed in God and lived for Jesus. I'm trying to live for Jesus.
No, you're living. I mean, you're trying, me too, but you're doing it. How do you do it? What is perfection? Pursuing perfection. You can never achieve the ideal. The ideal is the pursuit of the ideal. So you're doing it. You are it by doing it. There is no there. You never arrive. It's anyone who thinks you arrive. That's one of the faults I think with social media is people portray themselves as if they've done something. They've done it. Be like me. And the reality is it's another day on the journey to eternal life. And by the way, when I close my eyes, when I die, I'm waking up to a whole new world. And it's like, and even that's a journey. There is time. There is a beginning. There is never ending, but there must be time because there's a beginning to it. So I'm not smart enough to understand that, but I heard it and I believe it.
Well,
I just interrupted you. I'm so sorry. Where did that even come from?
Basically, what I was just going to say is that like there are good questions out there, and if you don't have good questions, then you're not really seeking, I think. But with the Catholic faith, sure, are there tough pills to swallow to our silly human brains? Absolutely, but when you're brave enough to ask the questions and find the answers, it just strengthens your faith, you know. There's always, I think, what I found is a beautiful answer to the question, whatever your question is.
Yeah, so here's something that's interesting, though. There are some mysteries, some things you cannot understand. And if there are any proofs to disprove the church, it'd be something like the Trinity. Like, wait a minute, 3 persons in one God. Like, there are some legitimate mysteries, but here's the thing, at least my personal take on this is, and there's more mysteries that aren't coming to mind right now, but the church has proven itself to be true in enough things that I trust the things that I can't understand.
Mm-hmm.
And what's more true? Like, I'm a salesman. I always say, I want to sell the best thing. If you find, like in my world, if there's a company selling the same thing better, I'm going to go work for them. I'm a mercenary. I work for money. I want to make the most money I can. I want to sell the best thing I can. Like, this eternity is on the line here. This is not a small stakes game. This is huge stakes. It's my soul we're talking about and my life because I'm dedicating my life for this eternal thing. So if there's something better, I'm very open to it. Show me something better. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a couple mysteries. There's a couple hard pills to swallow, the Eucharist. Okay. What makes more sense? Show me, please. Mm-hmm. And by the way, ask yourself the hard question because chances are you don't want to take the hard pill, but you're also not eating anything else. You're just kind of not doing anything, and you're going to shrivel up and die if you're not eating any food. So, like, I say take the hard pill, but if you're not, then go eat some other food to find the truth. Seek. Look.
You said something a few weeks ago, and it just stuck with me about, you said something along the lines of, if you're going to Mass because you feel like you have to.
Yeah.
Stop going, because God's going to spit you out anyways.
Yeah, dude. Lukewarm.
How does the average person keep a real passion and find that real love in God?
So I want to make a distinguishing point here. The faith gets hard. It requires discipline. And if you think it's hard now, add a couple young kids, a 1 and 3-year-old like I have, and still go to Mass every Sunday. Like, it gets hard to go to Mass, but I believe that is the body, blood, soul, and divinity of the creator of the universe, and I get to participate in that. So I want to be there, but it gets hard, but you keep going. When we were talking the other day, there's people that just go because they've always gone. And this goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Challenge it. Either believe in it and ask the hard question and go because you're convinced, or just be a person of conviction. Stop being such a pansy. Like, if you don't believe it's real, then stop. Why? Because you're scared of somebody, what their opinion is going to be? Be a man. If you don't believe it, stop going. If you're curious, then ask the hard question. Stop floating through life. So many people float. Stop floating. You don't want to live the faith? You want to go take drugs and have sex and go blow your money on the slots? Sweet. You know? And I only say that because that's getting to failure as quick as possible is the quickest way to wake up. And in any idea, like even with my podcast, it's like I was going to wait till I release so many episodes to make the thing public. But I thought, you know what? The best way to know if there's any teeth on this thing is to fail as quick as possible. What topics resonate with people? What mediums resonate with people? What spokes of my marketing resonate with people? And like, maybe I'm more open to this than other people because I'm in sales and I fail all the time, and rejection is a common occurrence to me on a regular basis. But do it or don't. But don't just float. Don't just float. So many people are floating through life, and just be convicted. Like, I'll have more respect for an atheist who's convicted than someone who goes to church every Sunday and isn't. Like, argue for it. Explain it to me. Fight for it. I'll have more respect for the atheist that fights for their position than the Catholic that doesn't fight for theirs. That's one of those things I said. I don't know if I really agree with that, but right now I think so. But I'm open to changing my mind, like on most things. But that came out pretty strong, and maybe it's true.
You have 2 beautiful boys. Can we talk about them at all?
Yeah.
Okay. Their names, Colby and Dominic.
Yeah. Beautiful names.
Kobe Bryant, or no? You named him Colby after the saint.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm guessing Dominic.
After the saint.
Can you just tell why those 2 names stuck out?
Names matter. Names really matter. When I meet someone, I always want to understand their name, even if it's the waitress at the restaurant. No one cares more about any word more than their first name. So first of all, names are very important. Second, we wanted to give our sons, my wife and I, a name that they could live up to. It's one of the few things you carry with you for your whole life. And so it's a great tradition of the Catholic Church to name people after Christian saints, because you have a built-in mentor. We were just talking about mentors a minute ago. You have a built-in mentor. And St. Maximilian Kolbe, couple crazy things. So both of our boys are adopted. Beautiful boys, beautiful process, very hard, very challenging, and many years of turmoil like you couldn't believe. And when we met with the birth parents of Colby, we didn't realize it was Colby's feast day. But we got in the car afterwards and we called Shannon's sister to recap our thing. And Bridget said, "Do you know whose feast day it is today? St. Maximilian Kolbe." And Colby was like, everyone makes a list of names, and it was top of our list. And it was like, there were a couple other providential things that happened along the way that secured Colby. I lived in St. Maximilian Kolbe Hall at Franciscan, where I had this conversion experience. Like, Colby was calling out to us. I have a personal devotion to him. Both Shannon and I had been to Auschwitz, where he died in a starvation bunker, except he didn't starve after over a week of not eating. They had to inject him with lethal poison to finally kill him. He was leading the other inmates in the starvation bunker in singing the Psalms, and they were singing weekly because they were starving them to death, and they were already abused in the camp. But we wanted a man like that Colby could live up to. By the way, if you don't know, St. Maximilian Kolbe gave his life for a man who had a family. He was a Catholic priest, extreme Marian devotion. We love Our Lady in our family. We love that St. Maximilian Kolbe loved Our Lady. But he was in line. Some guy got called out, was going to be killed. And he cried out. He said, "I have a wife and children." And St. Maximilian Kolbe stepped forward and said, "I'm a Catholic priest. I'll switch places with him." And the Nazis hated the Catholics. And so that was an easy swap. Are you kidding me? A priest for just some Joe Schmo? What's crazy is when St. Maximilian Kolbe was canonized by John Paul II, the dude he saved was there in the crowd.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So similarly for Dominic, we have a Marian devotion in our family. That's another struggle a lot of non-Catholics have. Even if you're not Catholic, but if you're Christian, who's the closest person? Who are you the closest to? Your mom. No question. Who do you cry out for in a foxhole when you're about to die and get your guts blown out? You're crying for your mama. So even if you have some questions about certain church teachings, there's no doubt that Mary was an important person in Jesus' life. Just like we look to the gospel writers and John, we were just talking about, like, Our Lady is an important figure. So if you're struggling with your relationship with her, yeah, maybe she's not for everyone. It's not like you have to go through Our Lady, but cheat code, if you want a little skip the line and go to the front, go to Our Lady. And if it sounds hokey, try it and see. Dominic brought the rosary. He brought the devotion of the rosary to the world, and we love that. We love that name. It's very full, very rich, and our son Dominic happens to be the most joyful boy there was in the whole world. So, yeah, he has a great name, aptly named. His middle name is actually Jasper, which is it's a derivative of Casper, who is one of the three wise men. It means gift bearer, and I mean, I want to cry. He's an absolute gift to us, and his birth mom gave him that name because he was her treasure, and he's our treasure, and he's our gift. It kind of could mean both things, treasure or gift, and yeah, so we gave him that to connect him to his birth mom, and it's true for us as much as it is for her. So Dominic Jasper, we love that boy. Colby Thomas. Thomas is my middle name, connects Colby to me and our family. My dad's first name is Thomas. So names are important, man. Don't take them lightly.
Last question. So you mentioned your two sons are adopted, right? Obviously, you and your wife wanted to have your own biological children.
Yeah.
Right? You tried. And so...
Oh, we try almost every night.
And so I cannot fully appreciate that as like not having a wife and trying that, but that's a sort of struggle or trauma, and you've experienced trauma in your life.
So many traumas, and so has everyone, by the way. But yeah.
And I think
so have we.
People could look at you like, oh, this is cheerful, joyful white guy, with nice thighs. Like, of course he's happy and joyful, but you've gone through real stuff. So just kind of closing out, how do you, with the world, keep that energy and that zest for life and that zeal, even in the face of difficulties?
First of all, I love doing this podcast in person. My podcasts are virtual because I have people from all over the world on, so we do them virtually. Being in person with you, the energy in the room is palpable. The Holy Spirit is here. Nick Graff, you have an absolute gift. If you haven't already liked and subscribed, do it right now so you can get all the updates. I mean, this guy is too good not to follow. Everyone's got suffering in their life. I'm no exception to that. From early in my life till today, I've experienced extreme suffering and adversity. Some things too crazy to name. And the joy comes from the suffering. I have come to know through the Catholic faith, you hear pray, fast, give alms. You hear that all the time. Why? Because it helps prepare us for the real world. Praying keeps us close to God, keeps us centered, keeps us focused on our North Star. Fasting reminds me, Lord, you are my sustenance. I am not fed by these material things. These will not fulfill me. It's all temporary. Fasting rejects the world, rejects material things. Almsgiving, Lord, my first fruits are for you. You are the Alpha and the Omega. It all comes from you. It all goes to you, Lord. It is all yours. It has all come from you. Thank you, Jesus. And doing those things, building them into my life regularly, it's simple. It's not easy. Helps me and helps Shannon, my wife, and helps many of our mentors get through the hard things. Because you're already doing hard things and you already have your eyes centered on things that are the most important, on the things that are enduring. So suffering comes and it's temporary. And that is not to make light of it. I mean, some of these things are traumatic experiences. And what I've lived is the most traumatic thing I've ever lived. And my brother always says, if you threw your cross in a pile with everyone else's, you would fight them to get your own cross back, because chances are people's crosses are way worse than you could ever imagine. Like, people always look like they got a great life. You got a nice house. I got a dope truck. It's like, wow, You don't know what I've been through. You haven't earned that stuff. I've earned that stuff. I've worked. I've cut my teeth for that. And by the way, I don't think I deserve it. I know it's all a gift. I heard the Benham brothers a couple years ago. I was talking to them, and they said, you got to hold gifts from the Lord in an open hand. You can't clench the gift. You got to open it. He can make it bigger. He can move it around. He can take it away. But people clench. People get too attached to things and they clench. And all of a sudden, that gift becomes a sin. Because now you're wrestling with the Lord to hold on to something that doesn't matter at all. So, and then in a little bit of a stoic way, I think you could tie this to the faith. I just can't in the moment right now. Like, you need to discipline your body so as to discipline your mind. And like when you discipline your body through regular fasting, through regular disciplined exercise, through mortification, another big thing in the church, mortifying your flesh, to detach yourself from the world, from material things. When suffering comes, you already are practiced in being uncomfortable. And so it just living to the depths of the church. That's what I'm saying, man. Lift your eyes up. People are focused on small things. I don't want to swear anymore. Yeah, stop swearing. But like, mortify your flesh, brother. Go get a hair shirt, a camel's shirt, a potato sack. Wear that under your shirt for a week or an hour, because that's about all you can stand the first time. I mean, the faith is so deep. It's so rich. It gives us all the tools we need. Life is so hard. Life is so hard. I'm not trying to minimize it. I actually want to maximize how hard life is. And it only gets easier with practice and the faith. It's a cheat code. I mean, my suffering is one thing that keeps me coming back to the faith. I don't know how people without the faith do it. I think that's why suicide rates are skyrocketing. I think that's why depression and anxiety is skyrocketing. I was talking to a lady, and she talked about taking her anti-anxiety pills like it was a joke. Like, I don't know anybody who's not taking these things. And I'm like, I know a lot of people that aren't taking those. And not to minimize that medicine can be very helpful for people, but it just shows how severe the problems are in the world. And I just don't want to minimize, like, medicine is a beautiful gift, and I think it's a gift from God. So, like, I don't want to minimize that, but just to show how hard life is. And if I didn't have the Lord, what hope is there? Like, if there's no eternity, what in the world? And C.S. Lewis said it best. I don't know, everyone just quotes what C.S. Lewis said because no one can say it more pithy. If you believe in God, if you believe in Jesus and you're wrong, you lose nothing. If you don't believe in Jesus and you're wrong, you lose everything. And practically, so that's like very spiritual, eternal material. Practically, living a spiritual life, fasting, mortification, almsgiving, prayer, that actually makes my real life better. It makes my relationships stronger. It makes me a better man at work. It makes me a better family man, a better brother, son, friend, acquaintance, mentor. Like, even if it's not real, I would still practice the faith because it makes me a better materialistic human, or a better human in a materialistic way. So, did that get what you were going for?
Yeah, perfect. Well, I love you, brother.
Dude.
I'm glad that you reached out and took up that guest room. Last thing.
Oh, about the guest room. I don't know if I've told you this, but we started building my office, and I travel a lot, so I thought I could just work from the road or from a hotel or from my car or whatever. And but like, I do work in an office regularly, like a couple days a week at least. So I started freaking out because I didn't know what I was going to do. And I was driving. I'll never forget. It was early in the morning, like 4 or 5 a.m., driving in to a meeting and praying the rosary, just thinking like, Mother, help me solve this issue. Kid you not, your name popped in my head. And I was like, oh yeah, Nick bought a house. I wonder if he's got another bedroom in there. Kid you not. And I texted you immediately after. And then we talked and sealed the deal.
Here we are. And now we're leaving.
By the way, this is actually kind of a hard experience. I'm kind of feeling very internally self-conscious right now, because that's one thing nice I like about hosting a podcast is you're the question answerer. I just want to make sure that I didn't come across as like I figured it out. Today I'm feeling like, man, were all my answers good? How could I have phrased it differently? I'm already thinking about ways I would have said things a little differently if I could have gotten another shot at it. So with that in mind, I just hope your audience has mercy on me. And
well, there's one final question for you to redeem yourself.
yeah.
If God gave you a sign and he said, hey, this is what I want you to share with the world, this is the message to convey, what would you put on that sign?
Wake up. People are asleep, man. They're missing it all. They're missing it all. They're going into debt, as Dave Ramsey says, to buy things that they don't want, to impress people that they don't like. They're doing jobs that drive them miserable. They're getting into relationships with people they don't like for the wrong reasons. People are asleep during the most exciting adventure of their life. Wake up. You want more of a reflection on that? Anthony DeMello has a book, maybe even called Wake Up. And I listened to it on the audiobook, and he's this old friar, priest, awesome guy. And, wake up! He says it 1,000 times in the book, but it's so real. I did a book study on it with my buddy Dylan and learned a lot from it. And I'm asleep at the wheel sometimes. Life puts you to sleep, man. You gotta be intentional. The devil wants us asleep. He wants us asleep at the wheel. The best thing the devil can get us to think is that God's not real, because then we're just sleeping. And if God's not real, then what's it all for anyway? Who cares? I'll sleep in. Hit that snooze button. Why eat healthy? Why work out? Why temper my body? Why seek excellence? Why seek for virtue? You get lazy, man. Wake up.
You're a beautiful man.
Glad you noticed.
Okay, Andy Leonard. I guess we're gonna let's race to 1,000. You might have 1,000 subscribers,
dude. Let's get there.
Let's go.
Nick Graff, you are the man. It was truly, thank you for having me. It was a total joy, a pleasure to be on your podcast today. An honor. You have a personality like no one I know. I'm so excited to watch you grow and to see. I can't wait to see where your journey is going to take you, man.
Vice versa.
You're on a great path.
Jesus, thank you for Andy Leonard.
God bless.
All right, brother.